Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and this, well, I've got to say, is a pretty handsome looking lock. Apparently it's a brass body with some kind of brushed chrome coating on it, but this lovely lock is actually a Gerda 513Z HSS disc detainer padlock. 9 discs in this one, and this is absolutely a cut above even Gerda's low range disc detainer locks, which are very much the same as, well, cheap Chinese detainers. The HSS series are really quite nice. They've actually got a free spinning front disc, which means you can't tension off that front disc. This goes all the way around. It's gated as well, so you have to get it in its right gate. And there's 2 gates, so that, well, naturally it depends on which way around this is flipped. You don't want to have the key and it still not work. You know, it's got to have a gate either side of its free spinning. It's got false gates on, well, I don't know if it's all of the discs, but certainly some of them. So yeah, false gates, free spinning front wafer, 9 discs, really nice body. This is a really nice lock, and certainly one to befit any collection. In fact, this isn't actually in my collection either. This was lent to me very kindly from Daz Evers, who you'll know as an amazing lock picker and tool maker, and certainly one of the best pick makers out there as well. In fact, this was also one of the picks he made. Lovely. So, tensioning it. Now, for the most part, the first thing you do is look at the key and think, well, that's almost certainly going to be a rear tensioned lock, and you'd be right. The best way to pick these is to get a rear tensioning lock pick like the Silver Bullet. Attach its rear tensioning tip and tension from the back. But, you know, just being curious, I thought I'd see whether you could use something like a front tensioning tool like this Sparrow's pick. And the rule of thumb is, if you put it in and you turn it and all the other discs go from feeling loose to binding, the chances are you'll probably have a good chance at picking the lock, even if you don't have a rear tensioning pick. So, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try front tensioning and using a technique where you don't tension off the spinner disc, because you can't, it just keeps going round and round. So what do? You tension off the second disc number 2 out of 9, which would be on that cut there. And normally, if you're tensioning against a cut sort of like that, you'd never be able to get feedback on any of the other discs. But it's just not true on this lock, and I don't really know why. It could be because of the other false gates just make the discs a little bit looser in the disc pack, maybe. I'm only guessing, but for some reason you get really good feedback tensioning off the second disc down, which is, well, odd. Anyway, let's throw this in a vise and let's do some odd picking off that second disc. Okay, so we're in the lock, and I've taken out the grub screw. There's a great big grub screw in here which keeps this sort of cap on. I've taken that out. Look how big that is. And that just goes in and sort of arrests the cap from rotating, so you can't just gut the lock instead of using a key. That would be a massive security flaw. So where's that key again? So we'll gut this afterwards. Just make sure that all the discs are over to the anti-clockwise direction. I know people say to, you know, pick it clockwise and all the rest of it, but yeah, I think on a lot of locks I picked recently, I found it easy the other way around. So that's what I'm going to do. I've already set up the tool to pick up the second disc only, or at least I hope I have. And we go all the way to the back, which was quite easy to do, so it means that I must have this aligned nice and centered, which again is good. And yeah, just feel for where we go. Now, the one thing is on the discs with false gates, oddly, you can really feel the true gate. It just goes click, click, click. You know, it doesn't like to come out of that gate either, so it's a very positive feel, which makes this lock extremely good for you know, I'd say maybe not new, but certainly experienced pickers. Okay, so we're on disc 9. And I'm barely using any tension at all. You can probably see just hardly any. You don't need much at all. If you end up putting a lot of tension on disc locks, you'll break the tool. nice click, but but then it just goes all loose also, and you get that kind of weird loose feeling when you hit what I think is a true gate. Just make sure that's centered properly. Yeah, so that's, I'm pretty certain that's the true gate there. Okay, next one should be 8, and that doesn't go anywhere past that spot, so it sort of goes turn, stop, and doesn't want to go. So almost like you feel like you snap that tip, you move it any further. So I'm not. It feels locked in. Next disc. Oh, a little click, and again, it doesn't feel right there. It feels right here. It feels, yeah. Let's go back through, just check all those gates. So, yeah, nice. 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 Next one. Click, click. Click. That feels much more positive. Lots of sort of space here to wiggle that the tension tool, the pick. Sorry, what I'm on about. Go back down to the next disc. Here we go. Oh, slipped off it. And a nice positive click. Very much feel we're in a gate. Next one. And next one. All the way. Oh, torqued out on that. But again, this is disc, I believe, 3 now. Just feels set. And there's nothing there. So let's go back through. To do this technique, you've got to be real certain that you're in true gates all the way along. So that's disc 3. I'm touching on disc 2. This is disc 4. Disc 5. Disc 6. Disc 7. Disc 8. Disc 9. Yeah, I'm going to call it. I think that's everything in the gate. Right, so what do I do? Well, I need to find a 0 disc. So I'll be looking at this marking and see which one has travelled the furthest. And yeah, it's one of these ones which are sort of on, you probably can't see this line. Oh, you can. There. So basically I need to hold onto it like that, then turn this back. Now, technically, I probably feel 2 gates depending on which disc I'm on, but the second disc seems to have a very positive feel when we are in its true gate. Oop. Staying on that second disc is a little tricky, and I think that's there. Goes sort of loose. Now what you need to do is withdraw the pick again till it's almost out, and then rotate the spinner disc, front spinner, around to its gate, and then see if we get an open. If we don't, oh, then Oh, no, I think we have got it. Yeah, there we go. Aha, lovely. So, there we go, gone open. Look at that. Now, I took my time specifically on this picking video just to sort of show you how you would approach that picking technique of going off the second disc. Now we can gut this and see what's actually inside. And probably won't get a pinning tray out because they're all for standard pins. So let's get use a Sparrow's gut wrench. Actually, it's got a nice broad tip. Seems to work. Probably a coin would do the same. And then we can already see things like the first front spinner, and I'll show you that later. But you'll see that it is sort of free spinning and double gated. So that's the top. Okay, so there we are. Do all of the discs have false gates? It doesn't look like it. So this is the 9th disc. That's what you'd normally tension off. Nice and thick as well. You'd really get a good purchase on that. Some discs in some locks are so thin. Got a nice profile on it. So it's a profile disc, 1 gate. Very nice. Oh, so throwing it around. Then sort of normal. So actually, no, there are some false gates on nearly all of these. Let's just look at one which has shallow gating on. So that's a true gate, false gate, false gate. That's why you get such a positive feel. I'm hazarding that also makes it front tensionable. I think there's enough play because of these cuts. Well, I could be wrong. I could just be talking a load of rubbish, but it just feels like it. Look, that's just got 1 false gate due to its rotational position and a true gate. One of these looked a little bit more ferocious than the others, but maybe I'm wrong. So it looks like where they can have a false gate, that one's got 2, 1, 2, 3. The first one's a bit deeper. They do have false gates, but quite honestly, it doesn't really hold you back at all. The feel of the lock is really positive. Very nice lock to pick. And then that's that front spinner, very thick as well. Anti-drill, no doubt. Again, it's got a profile on it, so whatever picking tool you have to have profiled as well. That just means it's got to have this sort of bow tie shape to it. And you can see, because it's free spinning, it has a gate here and a gate there, so that whatever the orientation is, your key will always work. Yeah, very, very cool. Really nice lock, and thank you to Daz Evers for lending it to me. Hope you enjoyed that picking technique, just showing that you can pick off not the first free spinning, but the second disc, even though it's not a 0 cut. And then you just find the 0 cut in the lock, and every lock will have one, by seeing which of these discs has travelled the furthest, and that'll be your 0 cut. That's what you tension off. And there you go. Good stuff. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.